If you want to talk about a band that cracked the code for Japanese rock on the global stage, you have to talk about One OK Rock. They didn't just cross borders, they kicked the door down and set up shop in stadiums. This band is the definitive blueprint for international rock success, a feat no one before them had truly sustained. Now if you're new to this channel, this is Anakura Japan, and I used to react to a lot of Japanese music, but One OK Rock is one band I couldn't react here due to copyright issue for some reason. But that doesn't mean I'm not a fan. Instead, I'm a big fan of One OK Rock, and I'm so glad to have the chance to see them when they came down to my country. And in this video, we're going to explore the visceral, dynamic synthesis of alternative rock, post-hardcore fury, and pure rock energy. One OK Rock sound itself is compelling, but the true game changer is Taka's voice. His seamless emotional delivery in both Japanese and English didn't just translate the music, it bridged the gap between two worlds. But if you're a longtime One OK Rock fan, you know the sound isn't just Taka. You'll know that Toru, Ryota, and Tomoya are equally essential, a perfect 25% each that makes up the One OK Rock we love today. In this video, we aren't just here to list milestones, we're here to understand the calculated approach behind their 2-decade evolution. So subscribe to Anakura Japan if you want to check out more Japanese documentary, and let's get right into it. The genesis of One OK Rock is inseparable from the highly dramatic personal history of its vocalist Takahiro Morita, or Taka. Taka's background instantly provided the band with immediate narrative depth, establishing their early identity as anti-establishment rebels. Before becoming the raw, emotionally charged frontman of rock, Taka was actually being groomed for mainstream idol stardom. He signed with Johnny's Entertainment in August 2001 at the age of 13 and was selected as one of the Johnny's Juniors to join the idol group News in September 2003. This was largely due to his lineage. Taka is the eldest son of famous enka singers Shinichi and Masako Mori. Naturally, when you're a parent and you're having great success, you kind of want your kids to follow your footsteps. However, Taka abruptly suspended his idol activities and left the agency and News in December 2003. And I remember in one of the videos Taka even saying that he had to run away from home because things have gotten quite bad. While his departure was officially attributed to focusing on studies, the public narrative suggests a deeper controversy, rumored to involve a publicized photograph. This contributed to his abrupt, highly publicized departure from the highly sanitized idol world. Not only that, following his parents' highly publicized divorce, Taka's choice to pursue a non-conformist rock career was viewed as a direct rejection of his family's expectations. It was a rejection of the control structure of the Japanese entertainment industry, especially if you come from the idol world, which has a big grip on your freedom. He then dropped out of high school against his father's protest, an act of rebellion reflected years later in the lyrics of songs like Nobody's Home, which explore the pain associated with his family. Now personally, a close friend of mine who had problems with his family is the one who had introduced me to One OK Rock. And during that time, the way he described how Nobody's Home hit him really resonated strongly in me and how important this band is to a lot of people who had similar problems. And let me know in the comment section down below if One OK Rock had given you comfort for the problems that you had in your life. The formation of One OK Rock in 2005 was orchestrated by guitarist Toru Yamashita, who served as a critical catalyst for Taka's rock career. Toru, alongside bassist Ryota Kohama, came from a disciplined, if less conventional background, having been part of a hip-hop dance group called Heads until 2002. If you ever wonder why Ryota looked like he could be a dancer, well, that's because his background is actually from dancing. Both of them recognized Taka's unique vocal power and emotional depth, and Toru insisted Taka to join his new rock project after seeing him perform. The band's identity was immediately linked to perseverance and independence. They chose the name One OK Rock as a phonetic nod to 1 o'clock, reflecting the time 1 a.m. they practiced due to cheaper studio rental costs. If you've ever been in a band and you have some members who are always late to practice, naming your band after the specific rehearsal time, not a bad idea. This detail of them rehearsing so late underscores their grounded, hustling nature, sharply contrasting with Taka's privileged J-pop past. If you're a Taka, it must have felt like a painful choice between pursuing your destiny and giving up that old life. The band's first years were marked by a rapid climb through small live houses and festivals in Japan. One OK Rock originally started as a 5-member lineup, which included Toru, who is the leader and the guitarist, Ryota, the bassist, Yu Koyanagi, who is the original drummer who then departed in 2006 and was replaced by Tomoya, and lead guitarist Alex Onizawa. Alex played a significant role in establishing the band's early fusion of emotional rock and high-energy instrumentation, contributing to early albums albums. However, just as One OK Rock was gaining crucial recognition in the Japanese music scene in 2009, a catastrophic event nearly ended the band's existence. Alex was arrested in April 2009 for an incident involving a female passenger on a train. Despite the eventual dropping of charges, the highly sensitive nature of the scandal in Japanese public life forced Alex to leave the band in May 2009. And for any band on the cusp of major success, such a public scandal typically results in dissolution. The severity of the situation meant that One OK Rock had reached its first major inflection point. They had to choose between the ending of project or redefining the band entirely. The decision made by Taka, Toru, Ryota, and Tomoya was not only to continue, but to use this crisis as a fuel. Toru, the band leader, absorbed the lead guitar duties. The band then immediately focused on their next record, Niche Syndrome, released in 2010. It became their defining statement of resilience. As the first album released as a four-piece, it quickly established them as a major force, peaking at number 3 on Japan's Billboard Top Album Sales chart. It was a do or die moment. All eyes were on them, especially after the latest scandal. If they couldn't come up with great music, they would eventually sink. But luckily, Niche Syndrome is a great Japanese album. Its lead single, Kanzenkaku Dreamer, captured their fighting spirit, with Taka's aggressive, emotionally raw vocals proclaiming, "This is my own judgment. Got nothing to say." If you hear that line sung live, you feel that sense of power and the act of defining your own destiny. This track effectively served as the defiant answer to the public scrutiny and the crisis of Alex's departure. The inclusion of English lyrics in tracks like Never Let This Go and Kanzen Kankaku Dreamer signal a simultaneous ambition to communicate their struggle and determination to a global audience. By successfully overcoming the Alex issue with the great album, One OK Rock had become the four-member lineup that we love so much today. One OK Rock has always been synonymous with survival and self-determination. They established themselves strongly as a Japanese rock band with subsequent albums like Zankyo Reference, featuring songs like Answer Is Near, and my personal favorite Chaos Myth, and Jinsei X Boku in 2013, which gave us great hits The Beginning, Beat a Light, and Clock Strikes. During this stage, One OK Rock was achieving domestic domination. They were on their way to becoming a huge Japanese rock band. However, One OK Rock is a band that strives to go to the next level, never staying static. Their ultimate goal required a strategic and calculated shift towards international markets. While their domestic releases were successful, the single The Beginning is widely acknowledged as the single most consequential track for their international development. If you listen to their albums from Niche Syndrome to Jinsei X Boku, you'll realize the latter has a significant change in style. It was clearly done to appeal to a larger audience while still maintaining their Japanese and Asian fan base. The Beginning is explicitly cited as the catalyst that caused One OK Rock's popularity to skyrocket. Driven heavily by digital reach, the music video has accounted over 233 million views as of today on their official YouTube channel. For a 2012 release, the immense figure at that time confirms that YouTube served as a critical international gateway for the band, allowing them to bypass traditional media export challenges and establish a direct relationship with fans globally. Critically, The Beginning's appeal has endured, remaining a staple in their discography with estimated lifetime Spotify streams exceeding 138 million. With this escalating commercial success, the band had to match the rapid increase in performance venue capacity. During this era, One OK Rock decided they had to elevate to stadium performances. This era concluded with major high-capacity events, most notably the Mighty Long Fall at Yokohama Stadium concert in 2014. The concert was so massive it felt like they were the biggest artists in Japan. The ability to successfully headline venues of this scale demonstrated that the band possessed the energy and catalog depth to transition from club circuits to large stadiums, setting the stage for the next phase of global takeover. And in order to do that, some changes had to happen, and fans definitely took notice. The band's 7th studio album, 35. Actually, I never really knew how it was pronounced. Is it 35? Or is it just called 35? Released in 2015 marked a clear departure as it was their first album recorded mostly in the US and featured collaborations with international producers like John Feldman. The decision was solidified in 2015 when he signed a worldwide distribution deal with Warner Bros. And later with the prominent US alternative label Fueled by Ramen. This was a time when you listened to 35 and you went on board with the evolution of One OK Rock, seeing the style maturing to a point that felt like its final form. For example, you take the song Cry Out, it felt like such a strong One OK Rock song, but crafted in such a way that appeals to a global audience, but yet still maintaining that One OK Rock style. Contrast this with Mighty Long Fall, a great rock song, but you can see that there is a big stylistic departure from the raw Japanese rock they were known for. Mighty Long Fall sounded much more cleaner compared to the raw energy of bigger rock songs of each album in the past. They then released the album Ambitious editions in 2017. Together with 35, these records feature a greater proportion of English lyrics and saw the band consciously integrate more elements of Western rock and pop. Taka later described this period as a deliberate attempt to achieve a smoother sound and write more English songs to broaden their demographic appeal. For many longtime fans, we all know that One OK Rock is trying to go into the mainstream audience, which means going into the Western world, but we can't help but to notice the incremental departure from the Japanese style that we all came to love. The nuances, the Japanese energy will eventually start to fade off even more.